Okay, so this is the second part of Clearcase. So last time I was having a hard time finding the project which actually I have access to, and this is a project that I found, VSNapp project, and one of the view is this. So when I created a view, I'll create a view right now, and the drive which I'll pick is M drive, Eagle, and I'll just give it that name, and I'll say finish. I will say OK. VSNapp end, and see over here I have the view. Is there another one with VSNapp end? Okay, that's the one I created right now. So all of the all of the commands, all of the projects came in here inside the view. There's VSNapp, VSNapp build, all these uh, different projects. These are like the configuration files. These are the database scripts. These are the not the application Java, but there are other Java files. And then um, this is a top link file. It's just many different type of artifacts. So we are gonna go inside VSN app, and there's these three folders: source, package, and build. This is a Maven convention. Maven uses these three folders, and inside source and inside package, so inside sources you will see all these components. Now each one of these components have sources and bin directories. Like they will have source, and when you're compiling, it'll create a bin directory and it'll put everything in there. So these are the pom.xml files that each one of these builds are using. And inside sources there are main test. We go inside the main, then there's Java, then there are layers and layers which they will keep coming. So there are all these Java files that again developers write. So currently they're using POM, which is Maven, to do the builds, and each one of these components. So there are about, you may say, like 40 components. If you go under the ATM EDI, there's POM here, right? There's POMs pretty much everywhere, right? So every component has a POM file because each component have their own dependencies which need to be kept inside these POM, and they have these sources where all the code gets put in by developers. So everything gets pulled in from a view. Okay, so that's one of the views. It has all these other artifacts, and within one of the artifacts vision, it has the VSN app is the main thing. So VSN app is a main project which we need to go under. That's where all the development happens. And inside sources is where all the components, this is where all the components gets changed. Now the idea was you can set this component in Rational Clearcase Explorer. So you can right click on it, you can say add view shortcut, dynamic, and you can pick. So it starts with a gill, and we have no other. It'll probably appear on the bottom. VSN app project. Mm, Eagle VSN app. Just there's so many. It's just not that easy to find. There you go. Maybe I need to refresh it. Like I'll close this out. I will close this out, and then if you open it back again, sometimes this is what's needed to do. Clearcase, Clearcase Explorer. Here I'll right click on it, add view shortcuts. I'll click on the dynamic. There you go. There it is, right? So you can add a shortcut after you created a view. Now if you click on here, then you click on Vision Web or Vision. Now you can see the same thing here, right? You can click on VSM app, you can click on sources, right? You can click on here, the pom.xml file. Now if you right click on it, you can see these options now: checkout, history, version tree. There's find checkouts, there's compare with previous version, property of version, property of elements. There are all these things that are built within Clearcase. All these things are built within Clearcase. And now if I want to check out the pom.xml file to change something, right, it's asking for an activity. Select an activity that will record the new version of the file, but I don't have an activity. So I will not be able to modify this file. To create an activity, again as I specified before, you will need to go on IBM ClearQuest for Windows client, and UCM utility activity. Same thing, you will copy this, right? Say updating pom.xml, right? Owner agil, right? Then you say okay. As long as you copy that, because we're going to come back to that. And then when you do edit, find record, UCM utility activity, you say okay. And then you need to action work on, and the project that we needed to get was this VSM app proj VSN app int, and it will also show you the views now because you have to select a view. It says at the top. Now when you select that view, it gets configured within that view. Okay, and now it says active, so you can cancel it, and that's all you need clear request for. There's some other purposes which I'll explain. So right now, if you go back in here, say you do the refresh, okay? You go back on here. Now if you like to update it, you say checkout, and look, that activity came up, and now you will be able to check out. It says there's a lock on stream VSN app int, right? So what you need to do is you need to kind of go back in here. That's where you created a view, right? Properties. If you look at the views, your view is right here. But you need to do the unlock, so you will be able to get the file. And now you right click on it, you say check out again, and there you go. Now it has checked it. So you open the file, you can open the file. You can open it in like a text pad or something. You can make changes, and when you check it in, you can just check it in just like that. For now, I'm going to do undo checkout. So when you check it in, it'll make it another version. I'll undo the checkout. Couple other things are, if you go to the like, you can do find checkouts. Say for example, if anybody has anything checked out on this directory, you can do find checkout. History of files, folders, and things like that. Compare with you can compare this pom.xml with the like other versions. You can look at the history. You can look at the version tree. Version tree is a little bit different. I'll show you how that works. Now version tree is, it shows you the map, so it tells you here that the that there's a directory called VSN app int, and there are two versions, 1 and 2. Within that second version, somebody within the whenever this was created, this is another CM test is another. All these are branches, streams. All these are streams. So when this was created, they got this version, right? They got the second version, and this guy may have done some type of modification, and then he delivered it. So when he delivered the CM test, that became another version. So that's only for the pom.xml file that we're looking at. Every file has its own versions. Every file has its own history. Files go from one branch to another branch. It gets modified in the other branch, and then it gets merged back into the same branch. And sometimes, and there are changes. And look, you can compare with another version, and now you can compare files like that. So I guess this is a thing that they added. So there are slight differences. This is one way to like trace it down. It has a tool that is built inside for checking, for comparing, and things like that. Okay. And then let's see what other things are in here. check out history, version tree, compare with previous version, property of version. Like these are all functions which are a part of Clearcase itself. Now say you want to look at some changes and you want to trace more things. Those things can also be done in ClearQuest. So when you say like active for projects, right? Then you can pick a certain project. You can pick like the same project that I'm working in now. You can pick VSN app proj, say okay, and now you have all these activities that people are working. There's so many different headings, right? So many different headings. Some of them are active, some of them are dev in progress, and it tells you which UCM project it is, which branch they are working under, right? Which view are they working for, and these are the activities. And you can click on one, and then you can see which files have been modified. These are the files that have been modified against that. Um, and normally it'll tell you the more information, which user is logged in. Normally, like that arc test, you can go to that stream, and then you can see what changes have been made. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, so again, back to the clear case. This is it. There's nothing really more than this. Um, uh, Again, clear case. The concept is a little bit different, but overall it's the same thing. It has a clear tool command line. Okay, so if you type it in here, you type in clear tool, then it starts. You can do commands from here. Commands normally begin with this, like you can do ls view. It will list out all the views. Ls clear tool, ls view, right? It lists out all the views. You can do a describe stream, some kind of stream. You can run that command. You can do ls wob, clear tool, ls wob. That will list out all the wobs. Clear tool. You can do any kind of. There's hundreds of these type of commands. There's hundreds and hundreds of type of these commands. And when you go to here, like when you do recommend baselines, right? See, these are vision, app, build, db, report. These are the ones that gets. These are the ones that will get baselined. So if I go back on to here again, app, build, db, and report, right? So if I go back on here, they are normally always the first directories. I'm going to minimize this, app, build, report. These are the main components of the application. So these are the ones that will, if developer modifies this one, when he creates a baseline, that's what will get baseline. That's what will get baseline. All right, thank you.